Hey, I've been waiting for this day for quite a while. Actually, I think it's about 3 years now that I heard of the Kinetix 800. This is Genzler's new amp, and why am I excited about that? Basically, if you're familiar with Jeff Genzler, you also know that he was the CEO and founder of Genzler, and one of the amps that stood out the most to me was the Class D amps with preamps that was made by tubes. And so I think the most natural amp Genzler could release was basically the Kinetix 800, where you have three 12AX7 tubes in the preamp section, and then you have the ICEpower module as a power module within this little box. And why am I excited for that? I think if you think of a bass sound like bass players as myself, I think most of us would agree that the romantic sound ideal would be an old school tube amp of some sort. And I think a lot of you already know what I'm talking about, but now you can actually get like super close to that ideal with this one. I'm not saying this is a vintage box, I'm just saying that you have the advantage of a fully blown preamp where you get the characteristic of tubes, a little slow warmth, deep sounding, like the sound that glues everything together, and it does it incredible well, even in this form factor that reminds of the Magellan or any other Class D amps. What you got here is basically an input, and then you have a mute, on, and a boost selector, and then you have the gain section and volume for the preamp. The gain is basically how hard would you like to drive the tubes, and you can go from subtle to all overdrive if you want to. In the middle you have like a nice mellow compression of the tubes, which is like sounds, oh yeah, it sounds fantastic. Volume into the EQ section. Before the EQ section you have a toggle switch where you have lean, fat and thick written on it, and it's basically Genzler's way to not emulate but say how tubes reacts to different kind of cabinets. Lean means like no ports in the cabinet like the old school 60s, so you get like a very dry sound and also less space, but again you get a very controlled sound. Fat means more bass, and it basically emulates what a big cabinet, how the tubes will react to a big cabinet. And the same with thick, the frequencies are just lower basically. And then you have the bass, low mid, mid, high mid and treble. The EQ section says itself, and the master. On the back side you have on power, and then you have a voltage selector. Be careful, if you have it in 110 it will blow if you are in a country that are above that voltage, so please note. You have the impedance selector. This is important if you have 3 cabinets. One 8 ohm cabinet is 8 ohm, 2 8 ohm cabinets are 4 ohm, and 3 8 ohm cabinets are basically 2.67 ohms. And then to secure the amp, you have to flip the switch to get this secured. But 3 cabinets on this beast is pretty good. You have an aux in, which basically is if you want music in. You have headphones. You have an effect loop if you have effects or want a different preamp, but I guess when you have the tube preamp, that's not necessary. But you can have pedals in that effect loop and tuner for your tuner, so you can tune. On the direct output, you can lift the ground, and you have a selection where you can pre-post the balanced output, and then you have a line or mic level. That's basically it. I dig. And then back to the groove.